Hey everyone. In this video, I want to talk to you about long-term partners and why I truly believe that if you couldn't see yourself marrying someone, then you shouldn't be with them long-term. Now, before I even delve into things, let me begin by saying that I'm not saying you should literally marry this person. I understand that quite a few people nowadays probably don't see a lot of benefit in marriage. I get that. So I'm not saying that you literally should marry this person. I'm just saying they should be someone who you could, if you were for marriage, see yourself marrying. As in, they should have marriageable qualities. Because here's the thing. When you get down to it, long-term relationships really are kind of like a marriage anyway. Just unofficial until you actually sign those documents, right? So you really should be with people long term that you could actually see yourself living with for the rest of your life, or being with them for the rest of your life. And if you can't picture that, then why are you with them? Because even if it's a situation where, yeah, you don't want to marry them, but you should still choose someone who has great qualities that would make you marry them if you like the notion of marriage. Because otherwise, you're going to be spending your entire life with this person if you like them enough, right? Or at least that's usually the end goal of long-term relationships. So why would you choose to be with someone where you couldn't foresee that? In a way, that's kind of like wasting your time to some extent. I get that there are relationships where, you get certain things out of them, even though you probably wouldn't marry the person. For instance, a lot of people are content to stay in a relationship with someone who's like good enough, or so they believe. Someone, isn't horrible in bed and doesn't create a whole lot of drama per se, although there still may be some bad things, like maybe they don't always respect your boundaries, maybe they do things that piss you off from time to time, whatever it may be. But if you're going to be with someone long term, you should brainstorm what qualities they should have at minimum for you to continue, or for you to choose to stay with them long term. Because a lot of people don't really think about this. Like, they just like someone enough to start dating them for a bit. They're not really thinking about where things will go. And then over time, they just choose to stay with that person because they become comfortable with them. But if that person doesn't meet your qualities for staying with them long term, well, you probably shouldn't really be with them, even if they're not exactly a horrible partner for you. And I'm not arguing for finding perfection. I'm just saying you should have a list of things that you want someone to meet at the bare minimum for you to stay with them long term. And make sure you're realistic with that list as well. Like I said, we're not looking for perfection here. We're really not. No human on this planet is perfect. So I'd say your list should be no more than 5 qualities. If it's beyond that, you're probably not going to find that person. Like, even 5 qualities seems like a lot depending on what they are, because if they're specific enough, yet again, you're probably not going to find someone like that. For instance, I'll share with you my list. It's 3 things. If you've been following me for a while, you probably already know what they are, but it's a high level of self-awareness, a high level of emotional maturity, and then her being happy on her own. Those are the 3 things that I would say are my qualifiers for marriage. A woman has to have those 3 qualities for me to even consider staying with her long term. If she doesn't have all 3 of them, I'm not going to consider getting with her long term, because I just could foresee issues arising because she hasn't done the inner work necessary for her and I to be compatible in a healthy relationship long term. But with those 3 qualities, she doesn't need to be like perfect in all 3 of them. She just needs to be working on all 3 of them. I would say that's good enough for me, really. Like I said earlier, we are not looking for perfection, because you're not going to find it, but you can find someone who either has those qualities, provided they're not like insanely difficult to achieve or obtain, but you can also find someone who's working on those qualities. Because if they're working on them, that probably tells you that they're going to eventually acquire them long term, or they'll just keep working on them enough that they're going to be a great partner at some point. They're going to be capable of creating a healthy relationship with you. So I just truly believe it's worthwhile to treat long-term relationships like a marriage, even if you're not physically, is that the right word, legally married to them. Even if you haven't signed those papers and you have no intention of signing those papers, you really should be looking for people that you would consider doing that with, marrying them, even if you have no plans of doing so. Because at least then you're guaranteeing that you're going to be with someone long term where you have high odds of things working out with them because they're a great person, they're a great partner for you, a great match. Because so many people just don't really think about this, and I see it all the time where people kind of just settle for good enough, and it's unfortunate. So yeah, I mean, there you go. This is just my opinion on long-term relationships. If you're just looking to have fun and date around short-term, that's one thing. It's just, yeah, if you're considering staying with someone long-term, just make sure you create a list of, yeah, you know, like anywhere from 1 to 5 qualities, nothing more than 5, like I already said, and just see or seek out people who have the qualities that you desire. But yet again, like I said, they don't need to have all of them. They can be working on them, and that should be good enough for you. If it's not, then good luck finding your Mr. or Mrs. Perfect, because they probably don't exist. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video, because I feel enough people don't really think about long-term relationships from a conscious perspective, and it's something that would benefit more of us. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys in this video. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, the easiest way you can help me out is just to throw a like and a comment for the algorithm, and I will see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci!